Welcome to Noni's Crafty Kids. Today we're going to be making a Jolly Roger that is the skull and crossbones. Now you can make the skull as a bracelet, or you can just make the skull as a charm. Of course, it's on both sides. Right at the start, I want to give a big shout out to Made by Mommy, who is another artist here on YouTube, and she has wonderful rainbow loom projects, and I developed the skull from her happy face jack-o'-lantern. She has this same charm in yellow as a happy face, and in orange it becomes the jack-o'-lantern. So go visit Made by Mommy and you'll find lots of really great projects that you'll really enjoy. Okay, so the bracelet and the charm are made in very much the same way. We just extend the bracelet, and the charm, of course, is quicker. So one difference, if you're going to just make a charm, you're going to begin down here at this end of the loom, and as you work, your skull will develop this way. So when you turn it around and begin your looping, your skull develops like this, and then you'll put a clip or your slip knot at the top. But we can also make it into a bracelet, and to make it into a bracelet, we're going to start up here on this end. We're still going to work this way, but then we can develop the bracelet down here. So that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing we're going to do is develop the skull. We count 6 pegs down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're almost in the middle of the loom. And this is where we're going to put our first loops. I'm using gray, black, and white for the skull. And then I'll add red into the bracelet. So this is your first placement. I have 2 gray rubber bands on the 6th and the 5th center pegs. Okay, that's the beginning of the skull. Now you'll need to have quite a few white rubber bands, a good number of black, and several gray. I believe the number of the white rubber bands that I counted up was 34. So be sure you have 34 white rubber bands, about a dozen black and half a dozen gray. So we start out with 2 grays right here. Now, when we're looping Old Jolly Roger, we're going to be working with double rubber bands. So our next step is diagonal from the center to the right. Another 2, again, the center to the forward peg. And now from the center to the left. So you have this shape. That's the beginning of your skull. And as you see, we're starting right off with a lot of rubber bands on that center peg. Now, I'm afraid to tell you we're going to have a whole lot more than that as we go along. So, thanks to my friend Olivia, I discovered that this tool that comes with the Rainbow Loom tool is not just a cover, and it's not just useful for single looping, but it's a perfect fit to push down your bands over the pegs. So if you remember that, that's going to come in very useful with this design. Okay, let's keep going. Our next step, we're going to go up the right side. Do 1, 2, 3. Double bands in the white up the right side. Now we're going to do the same on the left. Okay, simple as pie. Now when we go up the center, it's going to be a little bit different. We start out with the double whites. But now we're going to take 1 black, place it on, and 1 white right on top of it. That's your next set. Black on the bottom, white on the top. The next peg is going to be the opposite. We'll have white on the bottom and black on the top. Okay, push all that down. And now we can come in from each side on the diagonal to make Jolly Roger's chin. Okay, from the right to the center and from the left to the center. That's the first part of looping for our Jolly Roger skull. Okay, next step, we're going to place his bony cheeks. Oh, look at that. You want to be aware when you're using your rubber bands, because sometimes there are defective bands. So we'll just set that aside and get another one. I hope you do know that you are able to order your Rainbow Loom bands online from the website rainbowloom.com. They're very reasonably priced with very good shipping prices, and of course they're the Rainbow Loom quality. They're the genuine article. Okay, that little commercial blurb aside, I'm going to come in here from the left to center, and now from the right to center. This will be Jolly Roger's cheekbones, right in the middle of his face. Now we'll do his eyes. Again, we're using double bands, now in black. Push those down, the black there, and on the right side. Black there. Again, from the same peg where the cheekbones were placed. To bring left to center and right to center. When I'm making a video on this horizontal dimension, maybe I should call them top, center, and bottom rather than left and right. It might make more sense. Okay, here's a hint. As you're developing your placement, you want to try to keep all of your rubber bands in order. So looking at it from the side, you can push those original bands down, keep them down low, so you'll be able to find them when it's time to loop. And then the next set down low, then your black ones on top. Okay, the same here. You can look into the center. See if I can get this to focus. Right here. It helps to have these two colors because it's easier to identify the placement. Let's turn the loom around and look at this side. See how that band is out of order. Usually that's not a problem, but we're getting a very complicated placement here for the skull. So we want to try to keep these bands as neat and orderly as possible. And trust me, you will be glad you did when we start the looping. Okay, so right now it looks like that. And we're working this way. Let's see. Going from the bottom to the top. This is your right side. This is the left side. All right, now we have to place his mouth. On Made by Mommy, her jack-o'-lantern is smiling, and so her bands are placed from center right to center left, going up. On our Jolly Roger, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to go to center left, center right, going down toward his chin. So that's what we'll place now. Again, we're using sets of double rubber bands. These are black. So one going there. And one going here. Like that. Now we need some cap bands. Cap band goes here, cap band goes here. So both of these will be white. You can also use this tool. We're going to have a triple cap band. So wrap it 3 times around, set it right down over the peg, and push the rubber band onto the peg. And there you go. We're going to do that again. 3 times around, 2, 3. Get it down near the base of the tool. Put it right over that peg. Push it right off, and it goes right onto the peg. So that's where we are. We have cap band on his chin, then his mouth. We have a cap band here with his cheekbones, and then we have what amounts to a crisscross, 4 sets of double black rubber bands for his eyes. Coming up here, no cap band, no cap band. Okay. Now, this is where my Jolly Roger differs quite a bit from the jack-o'-lantern. Because you see, the jack-o'-lantern, nice round pumpkin. The Jolly Roger, we want a wedge shape. We want him to have a nice narrow jaw there. So he looks like a bony skull. So this is how we do that. I'm going to get 2 bands, gray and white. I'm going to put them right here across these 2 pegs, right down next to the chin. And we're going to stretch it, figure 8. This takes a little bit of practice. Bring it all the way across again. So that's very, very tight. Now that's not tight enough, we're going to pull this all the way over the chin. Okay? And once again, you want to keep these bands in order. So look from the side, bring that right up to the top. Because we're going to need to loop through that. Okay, so get all your layers of rubber bands in order there. At this end, get these down. Okay, and this can go right on top of the cap band, because the cap band stays in place and this stays in place. All right, now here, push it down, push down, get these down below that triangle, just like that. There. Now they're in the order they're supposed to be. All right, we do it again on these two pegs. I have a gray and a white. Stretch them all the way across. Figure 8. All the way back. Okay, get those in proper order here. Then lift that over the center peg. Okay, that looks pretty familiar. We do this on the triple single. We don't do it doubled or twisted around twice. But this will give us the skull shape. So that's what we want to do. Now we have one more layout to do. This I learned from the video made by Mommy. There. We bring one single, this one is not doubled, from this peg around these to this peg. Now if you get them like that, that's no problem. After they're secure on the pegs, bring that down like that. Okay? We do it again on the other side. This peg all the way down to this one. Now, that's our layout. It doesn't look much like a skull yet, but hang on, we'll get there.